Chapter 1. Welcome to the afterlife. You've arrived. But don't worry, you didn't miss much. The afterlife isn't one of those dramatic entrances you see in the movies. No bright lights, no choir of angels, just a shift, a quiet change. And now, here you are. But let's be clear, not floating. You're not in some ethereal bliss. You're still paying rent. You just moved into a new apartment and it's a little offbeat. The furniture's not where it's supposed to be. The clock's ticking in reverse, you know some ended, but it's hard to say exactly when. The thing is, you didn't end with it. And that's the key thing to understand about this place. Whatever happened, you're still here, still moving, still breathing. You're just different now. You are here. You are here. It's subtle at first. You might not notice it right away, but trust me, you will. Dates start folding on top of each other. Easter Sunday again, but never again. Yeah, that's the thing. You feel the weight of the same day repeating, but it's never quite the same. It's like deja vu, but with a twist. You'll catch yourself thinking, wait, this moment already happened, only to realize you're not where you were. Same day, different context. It's part of the charm here. You are here. People show up in multiple roles across time. Never met someone who feels too familiar, like you've known them before, but not in this life. That's what happens here. People come back, but not always in the same body. Maybe you've crossed paths with someone named Cole 10 times, but each time it's a different face. And sometimes they'll call you by a name that isn't face, and sometimes they'll call you by a name that isn't yours. You won't question it, because here we don't ask too many questions. Recurring names, numbers, songs, symbols, get used to it. The universe here is obsessed with repetition. Numbers that keep popping up, a song that haunts you for days, a symbol that shows up when you least expect it. Your life in all its oddities is trying to tell you something. Pay attention. Patterns aren't just coincidences, they're invitations. You feel grief all and deja vu at the same time. This place is a cocktail of emotions. You feel things all at once. That strange bittersweet grief of loss that's mixed with a sense of awe. It's the kind of feeling that makes you think, did I die and then? But if I'm dead, why do I still feel so alive? The truth is, we're all dying and living at the same time here. The world feels like a riddle not a fact. Nothing is certain here, and that's the way it's meant to be. You can't put this place in neat little boxes. It's a riddle, a puzzle with pieces that keep changing shape, and that's okay. You're not supposed to figure it all out. You're just supposed to live through it like a dream you can't quite wake. Chapter 2. The lay of the land. Alright, now that you've gotten your bearings, it's time to explore. The afterlife isn't one size fits all. It's not a single realm or place. It's more like a giant, ever-shifting city with different neighborhoods and zones. Each one feels a little different, but they all share one thing in common. They're all built on patterns, so if you're gonna survive here, you need to know where you're heading, who you're meeting along the way. These are the ones who will make you question your sanity. At first you'll think you're just seeing double. Maybe it's deja vu, but no, these people, they're you, or at least versions of you. They have your name, your memories, your vibe, but they're different. They live in parallel versions of the world, walking through their own loops. You might meet someone who looks exactly like your old friend Jack, but this time Jack is a teacher instead of a criminal. Or maybe it's your mom, but she's younger, still alive and living in a different city. Same name, different story, same soul. It's disorienting at first. You wanna ask them, do you remember me? But the thing is, they do in their own way. They're caught in their own versions of the loop, and they're trying to figure it all out, just like you are. Treat the trick, don't treat them like strangers. Don't assume they're wrong. They're just another version of you. Treat them with kindness, they'll show you what you need to see. Listen to this very carefully now.
I get in demons and they just not.
Okay.
I get it, sometimes you hear someone call your name.
And when that happens, you answer.
It doesn't matter who they are.
It doesn't matter if there's someone from your past
or someone you've never met.
When they call, it's like a beacon and you're supposed to follow it. These aren't just random echoes. Echoes have a specific purpose. They're the ones who cross the timeline and come back to you. They're the ones who need you now. You never had the friends you lost, or the version of you that never had the chance to speak. They can't always explain themselves, but they need to be heard. When they reach a threat, we need a thread. It's like a thread line to we is now, with things you never, your life. Sometimes you'll hear their voice in your dreams. Times have been it said, we say in the troll, each to your opiate sense. Maybe you'll see them in the corner of your eye, a reflection in the glass. But when you turn to look, they're gone. They're not trying to haunt you, they're trying to connect, and they have something important to show you. Here's where it gets tricky. They feed on creatures here who live in the loops, and the what is to keep you trapped. They're the ones that'll whisper, here, what if you done things differently? Or what if you had one more chance? But these demons aren't interested in hearing your apologies. They're not interested in your regrets. They just want you to stay stuck. They thrive on emotional fog that comes from feeling like you can't move forward. They want to keep you circling endlessly. The trick here is simple, don't engage. Don't try to argue with them, don't beg for closure. The more you focus on them, the stronger they get. The more you ask yourself, what if? The deeper you sink into their trap. Here's the trick to beating them: recognize them, name them, release them, and then keep moving. They're just echoes like everything else. They don't have power unless you give it to them. Chapter 3. The rules. Kinda so. Now that you've got a sense of the players, the places, and the tools you're working with, let's talk about something a little more. Functional rules. But let's be clear, this is the afterlife. Rules are more like guidelines. They're the skeleton of the place, but the body that's still free to roam and mess around with things still. If you want to make it through without getting caught in endless loops or tripping over the same patterns again and again, you'll need to know the basics. One, don't chase closure. You know that feeling, that desperate need to close things off, to tie up all the loose ends. Forget it here. Closure is a myth. You'll spend eternity chasing it, only to realize that the more you chase, the further it gets. And that's the trick. Closure doesn't come because you force it. It comes when you stop trying so hard. The more you grasp at it, the more it slips through your fingers. You're not meant to close the chapters of your story with neat little ribbons. You're meant to keep reading the pages even when the ending isn't clear. So stop chasing it, embrace the open-endedness. Let the story be a collection of moments, unfinished yet meaningful. Two patterns are proof of presence, not predestination. A lot of people come to the afterlife thinking that everything here is set in stone, that there's some grand cosmic design at play, that the loops and symbols are proof that there's a plan. Spoiler alert, isn't. The patterns you see aren't markers of destiny. They're proof that you're still here, that you're still alive. In a sense, the repetition of names, dates, and places isn't some sign that you were always meant to do this. It's the universe is showing you that you're still moving within it. You're here in this place because you're alive. You're a part of the infinite loop, but not the point of it. Don't get too caught up in trying to figure out why things are the way they are. Just recognize that they're happening. You're part of the riddle and you're meant to solve it, if solving it even matters. When in doubt, remember what you survived. This is your baseline miracle. You might have no idea how you got here or why things seem so absurd. Remember, you made it this far. When you're in doubt, when the world feels like it's falling apart, or you're about to drown in confusion, remind yourself of what you've already survived. Every challenge, every heartache, every weird synchronicity, you've been through it, and you're still here. That's your anchor. The fact that you've made it through against all odds means you've got the power to keep going. You don't need all the answers, you just need to keep walking, and trust that your survival's proof that you have everything you need.
So you've been walking through this place for a while now. Maybe you're starting to feel like you've seen it all. But trust me, the afterlife isn't just a single location. Oh no, it's a landscape, and just like any landscape, it has its varied terrain. Some are easy to traverse, some are weird, and some are downright dangerous. The key to surviving these different territories, don't overthink them, they're not meant to make sense, they're meant to be experienced. But if you're looking for some guidance on how to get through the rougher patches, you're in the right chapter. One, Forgotten Fields. You'll find this place if you wander long enough, trying to avoid the recursion demons or hunting down the callers. It's a vast open space where time feels slow, and the air smells faintly of dust. There were no roads here, just fields stretching out into nothing. This is where the forgotten things go, the things you thought you lost forever. Here you'll find memories you thought you buried. They might show up as broken down buildings, faded photographs, or old items you once cared about. The forgotten things aren't evil, they're just well forgotten. But as you walk through these fields, you'll notice something, you're not alone. The forgotten fields are where you encounter versions of yourself, not echoed ones. Those are different. These are your past selves, the ones you abandoned, the versions of you that made choices you regret. They're standing there waiting for you to recognize them. They might even try to have a conversation with you, but here's the thing, you don't need to fix them. You're not supposed to heal your past self, you're just supposed to see them, acknowledge them, and move forward. If you linger too long in the fields, you get stuck in nostalgia. But if you're quick to recognize and release the memory, you'll walk away unscathed. This is the next step after the forgotten fields. You'll inevitably come to a grand hall. It looks like a museum, only it's filled with you. Every version of you that could have been, every path you didn't take. There are rooms here, and each room is an echo of a life you could have lived. The catch, the perfectly convincing. They look like they're made of solid stone, of real, tangible things, but the walls are made of sound. The reverberations of everything you've ever thought, said, or wished. And if you're not careful, you might think you've actually lived those lives. Here's the trick, don't get attached, these rooms, they're illusions, they're what ifs, but they feel so real. You'll meet versions of your family who are alive, or lovers you never got the chance to keep, and you'll feel a pull, the desire to stay with them. But remember, their echo's not reality. When you start feeling the weight of the hall's pull, just do this. Close your eyes, count to 3, and then walk out. The real world's waiting for you, and you can't afford to get caught up in the lies of what could have been. Oh, what could have been. Now here's where it gets interesting. This place is a whirlwind of time. Past, present, and future are all mashed up together. Picture a spiral staircase, but instead of steps, it's made of memories, moments, and events that keep folding into each other. You'll hear conversations happening simultaneously. You'll hear voices calling you from different ages. Your childhood, your future, your past lives. The temporal spiral is a place where time doesn't exist in a linear form. It's happening all at once, and if you're not careful, you'll start to feel like you're losing track of which moment you're in. Here's the secret, you don't need to figure it out. The temporal spiral doesn't work the same way your brain does. It's a place for pure awareness, not analysis. Don't try to control it, let it unfold. The more you try to hold on to the past or predict the future, the more dizzying it will get. Instead, trust the feeling that comes when you're there. It's not about understanding the spiral, it's just letting yourself through it. The key to navigating it is this: be present in whatever moment you find yourself in. Touch a rewind or fast forward, just be. The garden of forgotten conversations. This is a peaceful place, or at least it seems that way at first. The air is thick with the scent of flowers you've never smelled before, and there's a soft breeze that carries whispers. If you listen carefully, you'll hear voices faint but clear. These are all the conversations you never had, the ones left unsaid, the ones you never got to finish. The garden feels like a memorial, but it's also a place of healing. Some of the voices here belong to people you've lost, but others belong to parts of yourself that you've never let speak here. You'll